tuning in today, literally from the couch, as just want to do a quick reaction to the boxing on Netflix today, as Tyson Fury is back in our boxing lives, picking up a unanimous decision victory. Before we get to that, again, a reminder, we are presented by Sea of Dead. Head over to seaofdead403.ca for all of that great Calgary swag. Sometimes I get worried about the branding of this show and seeing some of the cat stuff and the pet stuff in the logo and everything like that. But then as I go live, we got hey, you want to come up? There we go. We got the cat making an appearance here. So Bailey sat beside me to watch this, so it makes sense that she would get in on some of the action here and some of the breakdown as well. You had Fury winning basically every round too, hey? Yeah, definitely. So yeah, let's get into what we saw on Saturday afternoon from Netflix as Tyson Fury, Mauro Ranallo, excellent again, by the way, but making the joke on there that Tyson Fury has had many great fights in his career, but he is now 0-4 against retirement, was a really, really funny line from Mauro. But he's back after a near 500-day layoff, and he picks up a unanimous decision win over Arslanbek Makhmudova. I watched the entire fight, heard them say it 1,000 times, but this is the first time I've had to say it since you didn't do the breakdowns and stuff this week. Makhmudov, apologies there. Wow. But yeah, the breakdown here, it was like 120, 108, 120, 108, and then one card went 119, 110 for all for Tyson Fury. And it, honestly, I don't know if it was that close. There was an obvious class difference in this fight. And the big draw of this, I suppose, the big conversation would have been mainly around what does Tyson Fury have left? What Tyson Fury are we going to get? Oh, Billy's insulted by this, apparently. But yeah, what version of Tyson Fury are we going to get? He's been retired for just over a year and coming off of 2 tough losses against Alexander Usyk. What is this guy going to have left in the tank? And I don't know if he showed that he can compete at an elite level. No one after this one was saying, no, forget the Anthony Joshua fight. Bring on Usyk. No one was saying that. But it is very clear that he is still better than a lot of guys in the heavyweight division. It was a class above. We're not going to get too much into the technical side of things. Cardio-wise, it looked like he was fine. Heavyweights always have a bit of a difficult time going a little bit later on, but he has always had a bit of a special gas tank, and he wasn't really pressed a whole lot in this one. He was a step above, and it's a big payday and a big opportunity for Makhmudov, and it sucks because the dude's fought a lot of fights here in Canada, but just not on the level of Tyson Fury. And very few are. Again, I don't think that this shows that Fury is ready for a championship opportunity or anything like that, but it does show that he is better than just random heavyweight X that you could possibly throw out there for a fight. I think the big talking point for this one comes after the bout when Turki Al-Sheikh gets into the ring and starts calling Eddie Hearn in, and that is when things get awkward. I talked earlier this week about how the Chisora-Wilder fight was one of the weirdest things I've seen in a while. Well, this was one of the more awkward things I've seen in a while, but you could totally see where both sides were kind of playing it, right? Because Turki calls Eddie Hearn into the ring, he calls Anthony Joshua into the ring, neither of them move. And I'm going to suggest that not many people do that to Turki, just to put that bluntly, and you can read into that what you will, but he eventually just gives up on calling them and gives the mic to Tyson Fury, who makes the pro wrestling-esque call out of Anthony Joshua, I want you next, get in here and let's make it official. Joshua doesn't move. Again, Eddie Hearn doesn't move. And so it's obvious that this is the fight that they are kind of positioning for and that this is the fight that they are kind of getting ready for, but it's also obvious that they do not have all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed, or anything like that, or even anything close, if these guys aren't going to get in there and hype this one up. So it was a really awkward situation, but it was obviously Turki, Fury to a certain degree as well, putting pressure on Joshua and Hearn to be like, nope, we're going to do this now. We got this big stage. It's on Netflix. The first time Netflix boxing has taken place in England. It's a big stage. We're going to do it. We're going to make this huge announcement. And Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua very much were playing poker and saying, no, you're not forcing us into anything here. You're not going to force us into this to make a deal so that we can back out of it after, or you can back out of it after, or whatever. we're not doing this here. And so it led to a very weird situation. I would imagine this gets figured out and this gets taken care of and this gets done. But with this generation of heavyweights where we have had to wait until we are post-Apex on a lot of these guys to get these opportunities, you can see where some people would be a little bit concerned about it. And I mean, I'm not locked in that this is obviously going to be the next fight for these guys, but I do think that it probably does get figured out here. And it kind of, I was still positioning more for Wilder against Joshua, get that fight that we have not seen yet, but I think we will get all of the kind of taken care of, even if it's not in the era that we necessarily wanted them to. The other main fight on here was Conor Benn with a unanimous decision win over Regis Progress. This one had a lot of eyes on it because Ben signs the one-fight deal with Zuffa Boxing, this being the one fight, and it's a big money one. It's worth more than probably the entire UFC card that they're putting on tonight is making. And so obviously it got a lot of attention and a lot of discussion around it. And so there's a lot of pressure on Conor Benn. And on the one hand, I think this was a really valuable fight against Prograis, who's a multiple-time champion, has fought multiple different weight classes, veteran of the sport, and still very, very tough. And these were very valuable rounds for Conor Benn to have. 10 really solid rounds against not currently a championship caliber fighter, but someone who was not too far away from right now, and someone who can still challenge you a little bit. So this was a tremendous learning experience for Conor Benn, and he still goes out and gets the win. Does have some things he needs to work on. He got smoked a couple of times. A couple good lefts from Progress in kind of the middle of the fight that made it seem like, what are we doing here? This could be close. I think it was even 3-3 after the first 6, if I'm remembering right. And then after that, Ben was able to take over and get things moving, and he was able to win basically every round after that. So a very good performance, and the type of one that you want to see from a guy who is working his way up. Now, the issue, I don't think Zuffa Boxing made this investment hoping to get valuable learning experience from this guy. I do think they were hoping that he could come in, blow the doors off of a veteran with a bit of a name, and now they're going to have their superstar. It didn't work out that way, nor should it have, but I'm interested to see where this goes now. Is this guy going to be the cornerstone of Zuffa Boxing, or was this just a one-off, and now Eddie Hearn can come back in, or someone else can get back in there and figure this thing out? But I'm very interested in kind of the out-of-the-ring dynamic of this thing, because, again, this was a perfect fight for Ben to kind of, I guess, legitimize is a bit of a bad word, but to kind of validate a little bit of what you're thinking about this guy, show that he can go those 10 rounds, 10 hard rounds, and get that really big, valuable experience at this point in his career. But it does feel like Zuffa was kind of hoping they had a superstar on their hands. And so do they just assume, because I think there is star potential in this guy, I really do. Does this now mean Zuffa's just like, yeah, no, this is our guy, we're going to go for it, even though this wasn't as impressive as we wanted it to be, we're going to launch away with this guy, and with our promotional vehicle behind him, we're going to be able to make it happen, and we're going to be able to make this guy a superstar? Or are they just like, man, we just paid this dude $15 million to get experience, and now someone else is going to be able to take advantage of it, and we didn't really get the star out of this that we wanted with our investment? So it's an interesting debate. I think just if you watch that fight and look at the career of Conor Benn in a vacuum, taking out this weird situation with the one-fight contract, again, I think this is a real positive. I think he showed a lot of signs that you would want to see from a younger fighter, and again, that experience that you wanted from him. So just wanted to get a quick one out there, an instant reaction to a couple of fights that we saw on Netflix today. That's going to do it. If you're watching this on YouTube, we do have a podcast. Check out Couch Potato Diary on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. They're right beside each other. Just do that. Leave a comment. What did you think of the fights? And we can keep the conversation going in there. If you are listening to this in podcast form, leave a review. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. We're trying to grow this thing. We're now one away from 1,000 episodes in the podcast. So just go back, binge them all. It all stands up, really. not even a little bit, but still. We are now, this is $9.99 for podcast episodes. So go check it out wherever you get your podcasts. And again, hit that subscribe button. We're really trying to grow this thing here with Couch Potato Diary. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. And we got UFC fights. They're happening right now. I got to go watch those. I'll talk to all you guys later. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.